And welcome back. Okay, I'm dying. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to our final qualifying match here of the night, or potentially the final, one of our final matches here of the European qualifier, as we are getting into another PvZ. If you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on how you believe this series will unfold. On how you believe the series will turn out. Best of luck. Best of luck with those predictions. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ghost River, we have our German Protoss player. Representing Freiburg Esports, it is ForJumy. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the red Zerg player from Lena, Belarus. Representing the Platinum Esports, it is Nikich. Good. We are good to go. Again, we're loading into Ghost River, one of the smaller maps in the map pool, short restrictions by ground. As a result, we have seen quite a number of all-ins here, but we'll see if we do embrace that or if we head in a different direction. As for now, ForJumy is just going to be getting into his gate expand setup. Likewise, Nikich going for a hatch gas pool opener. Standard builds so far. So far we do have standard builds, but again, the rush distance by ground on Ghost River is disgustingly short, and we have seen a lot of all-ins as a result. We've seen a lot of successful all-ins here at the third base location, less so at the natural, so we could be seeing a bit of a later timing here. Again, Nikich, he is a Zerg player that's actually quite terrifying, especially in the mid-game. He's a very aggressive player. He has a bit of a reputation. People are aware of how he plays, but knowing is half the battle, and again, ForJumy has to be able to bring it all together here against Nikich. He has a second life, a second chance, a final chance to qualify. Here we go. When it comes to the other qualifying matches, a lot of them are wrapping up. We might be able to cover one more series, one more qualifying match after this one. But I did want to have a little bit of a break before ESL Americas. I did want to take a moment there to have a bit of a break, but we'll see. We'll see if that's going to be the case. See if we're able to pull that off. But now Adept's going to be threatening a shade. Again, just scouting, just trying to get an eye on any extra gases, any fast lair timing. Jimmy getting a scout off, gets a drone kill. Gets one. Ooh, gets a second drone as well. Very frustrating positioning there on top of the Reaper Cliff. And the Adept will manage to barely not slip away. Good surround here from Nikich, shuts down the Adept. Across the map, it is going to be a robo-based opener. Going for a second robo as well. Astray, is that you? Oh my god. So ForJumy going for a robo opener into a robotics bay, to a second robo as well. I believe this is going to be for mass disruptor drops. I believe this is going to be for double prism, double disruptor drops from ForJumy. Looking to spice things up here in game one. Very bold move, especially on Ghost River wall maps. Fast Roach Warren here at a Nikich does read that something is wrong. Overlord Scout is coming in, and he will get eyes on everything in the main base. Not just one, but two robos and the bay as well. Nikich sees all, he knows all. He is aware of what's going on. Overlord goes down. Depth's turning a shade. Disruptors are on the way. Again, as a reminder, what we did mention with double robo production, it's going to be 2 and then 4 disruptors. We're going to have another prism as well to drop across the map. And basically, ForJumy is going to be dropping balls all over the place. And we'll see what he can get done. Meanwhile, the Lings, they try to push in towards that natural, but alas, the wall is solid. The wall is looking solid here. First drop is moving out. There we go, more disruptors on the way. More disruptors on the way as the Queens, they come in to intercept, but Novas go up. Ooh, another S connections. Good dodge, good split here out of Nikich, and the first wave of Novas, they get nothing done. Aye. Not ideal. A couple of workers did go down to what seems to be some depth harass, but they do get cleaned up. Novas are now reset. How about we dive on those disruptors, and it looks like, ooh, we get one disruptor shot going up. Trading a queen for a disruptor, not ideal again for ForJumy. There we go, here comes the second prism. Second drop is on the way. We're going to be going up. Up! Ooh, 2 drones, not bad. Going to be able to get 2 workers here. Colossi production has commenced. Second drop moves out towards that third base. Show us the Novas. Getting a Ling. Getting a second Ling as well. Ugh, once again, not ideal. You can see here 2 drones and 2 Lings. Novas are going to be continuing here as we manage to get a couple more drones. Not bad. Much better connection. Getting a Roach. Queens are in position for that prism. Oh, they're trying to be. Managed to get a couple more drones. 13 in total. Not bad. 13 drones, 1 queen for 1 disruptor. As we're trying to chase this down, Nova's going off once again. Ooh, we get 10 more drones. Or we get another 3, I should say. Now, what's scary is that we need those disruptors to defend back at home. And we don't have them. We have Colossi instead. The Roaches, they have arrived. Good force fields. Very nicely done. As ForJumy, should be going for a 2-base all-in from here. Hasn't expanded, no 3rd base. It was once again catching some drones. But really, we need some big connections on the army. ForJumy is down to 2 disruptors. Big connection in the mineral line, getting 5 drones. Consolidating his army, bringing everything together. Does bring it all together. Never going off. Ooh, doesn't connect. Good target firing out of Nikich. We're down to 1 disruptor. And it's so low. And I'm worried for Nikich, not gonna lie. The supply here, the army for ForJumy is looking terrifying. He's on 4 Colossi. 2 Immortals, we have Sentries, we have more Disruptors on the way as well. Does have those prisms to reinforce. Getting a drop. Nikich trying to build up and max out on a very low drone count. His 3rd base is not even saturated. Where are the drones? Where's the saturation as ForJumy is pushing? Both players are all in. Both players are on 43 drones. Colossi pushes forward. Turning back the army. The prism, ooh, is going to go down. Big pickup. Down to 1 war prism. Oh, the Novas goes up. It's back the army. I think we have 2 more Novas available. We're down to 1. Just a little bit trigger happy. Speaking of being trigger happy, oh, last week we did get across the map. Big run by. Nice connection there from that disruptor. But you can see that we're racing back home. We force a recall as well. Nikich doing so much with so little here. He could still do with some droning, not gonna lie, but it's Nikich. Like, he's not one to drone almost ever. He's not comfortable with an economy. He's built different. Disruptors are forced back. Nikich has maxed out with Roach Ravager. Nikich, ooh. Gets a Disruptor. Good biles. ForJumy very all in here. ForJumy down to 36 probes. It's a queen. One good Nova is all he needs, or that's what he's looking for at least. Got a back connection. Gets some Ravagers. Gets a queen. ForJumy shocking around at the same time. A big Roach counterattack here. More probes are falling. Confirming the all-in. All or nothing. And so far, ForJumy, he needs more done. We collapse on the disruptor. We get one, we get two, we get three. Almost every disruptor goes down. We're down to one purification over left. One disruptor remains. Oof. And the Nova does connect. But ForJumy, he's running out of units, he's running out of army. While they rain down here on the forces of ForJumy. And we are gaining ground. We do take down the third. Third base is fallen, but remember, ForJumy, he doesn't really have any additional reinforcements. What you see is what you get. Big connection. Oh my god, ForJumy! He may have too much. ForJumy, he might just barely have too much. Big connection on the Roach Ravager. Immortals have arrived. Yeah, with the power of 4 Immortals, ForJumy, he can keep pushing. He can break this army. As long as we avoid those Novas. Those Novas, those Biles. And GG gets caught. ForJumy, he barely has too much. And ForJumy takes game number 1. GG. A brutal all-in there by ForJumy. But again, a very necessary one. He lost too many workers back at home. Too many probes had fallen. And his hand was forced. And his army was insane there with Colossi, with Immortals, with Sentries, with Disruptors. Very impressive. He was able to piece together. And GG. GG, ForJumy does take game number 1. Now we're getting ready for game 2. Oh boy. Meanwhile, the Americas qualifier is in how many hours? 3? Yeah, 3 hours time. That's not a lot of time. I was hoping I could maybe nap in between, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Don't think that's gonna happen. We'll do my best though. Here we go. As our players are ready here for game number 2. Again, it was a very scrappy game, very all in from both ends, from both sides. A wild build there out of ForJumy. But Nikich refused to drone, refused to saturate. And now we're getting into game number 2 on Oceanborn. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our German Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing Freiburg Esports. Leading the series 1-0, it is ForJumy. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player from the land of Belarus, representing Platinum Heroes. It is Nikich. Here we go. Here we go, as Nikich is going to be going for a hatch first, which is calming things down here in game number 2. Again, game 1 was just very intense and very chaotic. Neither player wanted to make workers, neither player was really saturating bases. I would put a little bit of onus there on Nikich though, where I feel like he had to drone, he had to saturate. Because he didn't, he was forced all in. There was no other shot, no other chance there for Nikich. And it did feel like he kind of played into ForJumy's hands there. With that, getting ready for game number 2. Nothing crazy yet. Really, we're just keeping an eye on the tech choice of ForJumy. We just saw that in game 1 he went for a robo-based opener into double robo into just mass destructor drops. We'll see what happens in game number 2. Otherwise, hope everyone has been enjoying themselves overall, and hope you've all been enjoying all these qualifying matches as well. I know there's plenty of other English coverage, or just coverage in general, for a lot of these matches. And it looks like we only have one series remaining here in the upper half of the bracket. It is Goblin versus Milky Cow in a PvT. Otherwise, all the lower brackets qualifying matches are underway. Oh, and that oh, and that is a giga-fast Roach Horn. What is that, like a 2-minute Roach Horn? Jesus, oh my god. Insanely fast Roach Horn timing here by Nikich. How could he afford it? Well, he skipped link speed. Skipped link speed, went for the Roach Horn instead, and Roach is going to be flooding across the map sooner rather than later. ForJumy, he did scout the opener, but the opener had no tells. He's in the dark as to what is coming in next. Roaches are amassing. ForJumy is just focusing on dealing with these links back at home, dealing with the Overlord. Here we go. Slings, they do not quite get a lot done, but they do at least keep ForJumy busy. Roaches are amassing, Ravagers are amassing as well. Nikich is droning, so we're getting some mixed signals here. There's no link speed, so we can't reinforce with links. We are moving out with some Roaches and Ravagers, but we're droning. We're not making more army behind this here. Nikich, he's supply blocked. Oh, okay, we break out. Do you break out of that supply block? Overlord does pop out in time. But I guess this is a fake out? Yeah, he's droning. This Roach Ravager push is a fake out, but this is an expensive one. And is it worth it in the end? The Ravagers, they have arrived. They go straight for the pylon. Stalker for shield batteries on the way, but it might just be too late. As the Oracle has to race back home, does target down some of the Ravagers. Files do connect. We get a pylon. Boys are being pulled. And the Roach Ravager is eventually going to be cleaned up, but we did quite well for ourselves here. 6 probes. 6 probes, we delay warp gate, we disrupted the build, we disrupted the natural. But we're still not done. We're getting another probe. 8 probes go down. Oh my god. Finally, we do deal with it. And we'll see where the dust does settle. Again, Nikich now with a worker lead. Moving out with his oracles. ForJumy is. Let's catch a couple of drones. Does manage to catch a couple of workers. Roach is moving out once again for a second time. As Nikich, he has saturated here. Up to 46 drones. Adepts, they do make it across the map. I'm going to be denying some mining at least. As, yeah, these drones, they have been cornered. Evo chamber thrown down. More drones are going to be falling. We get 3 drone kills so far. We shade into the main base. Getting 5 drones here. And behind this, where exactly are we taking up? How exactly are we piecing this all together? We have our third base, Robo's on the way. We have a safety Void Ray just to be safe from Jumy. This should not be for SkyToss. And we're getting into Immortal production instead. We are selling on Immortals, which means we're going for a longer game. And there it is. We have Blink on the way, I imagine +1 thereafter. Stasis Traps, Immortals. Yeah, not the most adventurous of playstyles, but ForJumy, he's just going to be turtling up. Knows that he has just a couple too many injuries, or a couple too many losses. ForJumy just doing what he can with those oracles, and we'll see where Nikich takes us as well. We spoke about in the previous game how Nikich, he was just not quite comfortable droning too much. Didn't feel like he was comfortable droning. But now he's going to be able to get up to 65 workers, a pretty decent drone count. Oracles, they're going to be keeping Nikich on his toes. Oh. It's Revelation off. We have Hydra speed on the way. Again, it is going to be a Hydra-based transition. Lurker Den is thrown down as well. Let's go! Hydra Lurker Viper. We're working on it. We're getting there. We could do with some better droning. The fourth base is done. Not quite saturated, unfortunately. But we're getting there. As you can see here, Nikich right now, he's just hyper-fixated on building up his Hydra Roach army. So because of that, the economy for Nikich, it's falling by the wayside. And there it is. I was waiting for some more tech of choice. +1 air attack is on the way. We could be in for a long one. ForJumy has been stuck at home. He's slowly taking a fourth base, and we may as well just turtle up into SkyToss. Now, we haven't seen the Fleet Beacon yet, but +1 air attack is a bit of a tell. Not much reason to invest into this unless you're thinking of SkyToss. Meanwhile, we're still hyper-fixated on Immortals and Storm. There it is. Fleet Beacon is on the way. That is going to be for Tempest or Carrier production. Strap yourselves in, everyone. Strap in. Do you have a longer one here? Yeah, and we do see Nikich now saturating his bases, getting to Hydra Lurker Viper. We do have Hive Tech, as Hive upgrades are on the way. Something that I'm concerned by is that Nikich hasn't scouted. He doesn't know that ForJumy is working on a SkyToss transition. Otherwise, we would see a Spire. We would see a Spire already. Not saying that Hydra Lurker Viper is useless against SkyToss, not at all. It can hold its own. But it does eventually get outscaled. And you need to be ready for that as a Zerg player with that tech that is required. We have the Roach Warren, the Lurker Den, with no Spire. Overseer comes in. Big scout here by Nikich. He does confirm the SkyToss sees all 3 Stargates. He does confirm the carriers on the way. And there it is. Spire has been thrown down immediately as a response. So a good response here by Nikich. Good scouting. The run back comes in. Hatchery finishes, and we do save it. Hatchery is barely saved. Lurkers, they are keeping up with the rotations. That's a lot of lunkers. 10 lunkers. ForJumy's gonna be retreating from here. retreating. Roach is going for a bit of a run by. Yo, a big shout out to Miguelito Vindicta Papi. Oh my god, thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. Hope you had a great time, Papi Ga. Welcome everyone, welcome to the EPT Spring European Closed Qualifier. We just wrapped up with the Asia Qualifier. We're here with the European Qualifier, and up next we have the Americas Qualifier in a couple of hours. It's been a long day, it's been a long broadcast. I would like to get some rest after this. We'll see how much rest we can get. We'll see, Papi, we'll see. We shall see, as roaches are going to be going down. So get a nice catch on those roaches. But really, Nikich, I'm sure, wanted to throw them away as he's refining his army. Getting rid of his roaches, getting into Hydra, Lurker, Viper, now Corruptor as well. Just to make sure we do have enough to deal with those carriers. That's how many carriers are we on? We're on 4. Soon to be 6. Let's go. Sorry, I'm just a bit under the weather, but let's go, Papi, as we are moving out. Tumors are being cleaned up. Nikich, once again, he's on a low drone count. He hasn't been losing drones, by the way. He just hasn't been remaking them. His drone count has been getting lower here, making site defense, like cannons, or like spine crawlers and spores. Nice joint here on some of these carriers, but we don't get them. We take the storms to the face. ForJumy is holding his own. Again, this shows how important it is to have some ground support here for Nikich. Whether it's Broodlord or Lurkers. Ooh, 2 High Templar do go down. Nice pickup from Nikich. Get some High Templar. Zelstake, you do get morphed into the main. Can we get on top of the Greater Spire? We can! Prism goes down, but the Greater Spire is going to be targeted, is going to fall. Big pickup. It does delay things quite a bit, so we throw down 2 more Spires. Shout out to Miguelito Vindicta, Papi Vindicta. Let's go. Meanwhile, how many carriers do we have? We have 6 carriers. Now we're getting into Void Ray production. That is going to be to support said carriers against Corruptors. Comes in. That's a carrier. Another bad start for Nikich. In general, has been doing quite well with his Viper control. As ForJumy, he is positioning to even expand behind his army, take another base. Nikich going for a counterattack, does come across some of these stalkers, forcing a recall. Yeah, Hydras, they do get on top of this army, on top of these pylons. Oh my god, the move command was brutal. Big storms here, but we did manage to get 1. We did manage to get 2 Immortals. A good cleanup here by ForJumy, but not the most efficient trade. As we catch out more of these carriers, 1, 2 go down. Hello, hello, slow bro, hello. It's been a while, Pat. It's been a while. It's been a while. Greater Spire's on the way. Ultra Cavern as well. Getting into all of our tech. ForJumy has been refining his army. He's got +3 air attack already. Working on their defense. as Nikich has been still trying to find a way in, trying to break some of these entrenched positions. But ForJumy, what is he on? What, 3, 4, 5, 6 bases already? Solid 6 base setup. You can see Nikich is down to 60 drones. I don't know how he does it, but he just refuses to drone up, and because of that, yes, Nikich does have a strong army with Broodlords, with Lurkers. Let's see if it is going to be enough. And here we go for Jimmy, rotating over towards the left-hand side. And just to collapse here on some of these spores. Ooh, big storms here on those corruptors though. So good yoinks here, taking down 2 of those carriers. Oracle goes down. We did kill the base. Base did fall. We're going for a big big recall here. Back home. The warp in has completed. Zealots are going to be able to trade well against these Lings. Yeah, they are trading well. They get into the main base, going for the tech. ForJumy meanwhile did recall here towards the right hand side. Zealots, they're going for the Spire. It looks like they might be able to get one. Oh, not quite. Right, does survive. Just popping up in the main. ForJumy is moving out. It does feel like ForJumy's just been trading a little bit better here. And yes, Nikich, he is maxed out himself. He does have a bank to work with, but because of the low drone count, that means a bad fight goes a long way. They're going off. Feedbacks, they connected with some of the Vipers. But we're picking these Void Rays apart. Void Rays are going down. We're remaxing it with more Carrier, more Disruptor. Broodlords are just bullying back the army. And usually the answer to these Broodlords is going to be Tempest, but we didn't make any. No Tempest here from Jimmy. Borders going ham. They get lured out into the open. Big Fungal. Big Fungal here on the Voids. Eva goes off here on the Chainsings as well. Yeah, we collapse on the army. We take down the mothership. We can see the Skytops crumbling here before Nikich. And Nikich, he may just have too much again. Just good control overall here with his Broodlords, with his Corruptors, with his Vipers. Pulling back the rest of his army. Does pull back. Nova's doing what they can. But the Broodlords, they reign supreme. And there just is no answer to the Broods. Link Stalkers aren't good enough. Corruptors are going down. Both players are remaxing. Bear that in mind. We're still not out of this yet. Nikich, he takes down a base. He had some good fights. It is going to take more than that. Go. Nikich rotating over towards right hand side. The most important mining base here for ForJumy. We do need to deny it. Can we though? There's that recall. Looks like we're trying to set up a surround. Stalkers from behind. We do catch out some Corruptors, but the Broodlords are here. Get one. Is that one? We do get one Broodlord. Likewise though, Carrier gets sniped. We get one, we get two. Yeah, the yoinks are real. Getting a third Carrier. Storm's looking good. Big connections on the Lurkers. That Lurker count gets reset. Templar morphing in. Nikich responding with more Broodlords and more of these Corruptors. A bit of a missed rally here as we throw away some ultras. Ultras thrown away. Good feedbacks here on the Vipers. Very nicely done. Nicely done here by ForJumy. Rotates around. And behind the forces here of Nikich. Oh, the Novas, they do take down some of the Infestors. Infestors are zoned away. Corruptors, they just looking for a moment here to dive on top of those carriers. They almost get one. As ForJumy is going to be able to just skirt around the edge here, avoid the main fight, clearing up a massive amount of creep here. At the same time, they'll run around the right hand side, taking down some queens. Oh, that's going to be 13, 16 dead workers here. The base has been fallen, or has been broken. Corruptors, they can't engage. Oh my god. Corruptors, they get annihilated here by the ground army. And Nikich has to pull back, and look at the drones. This is what's killing Nikich. The entire game we spoke about this. We're not droning. We're not droning, we're not saturating bases. Nikich is down to 43 drones. And this is not where his work count should be. And again, it means he just cannot sustain himself. And even though this army is looking strong by Nikich, like, it's not gonna matter. It shouldn't matter. As we do see ForJumy rotating over towards the right. As he rotates over towards the right, we go for a big run back here on the left. And just pulling ForJumy apart. Trying to at least. Do dive on top of the Vipers. Both Vipers go down. You try to punish it with that lockdown. Going back. Beats up a lot of links. As long as ForJumy doesn't take too bad of a trade, he should be okay. Really, Fester does go down. Yeah, base going to be falling. Another base as well. Storm going to be zoning back the army. Nikich is down to one binding base. You can see here his third base is out of resources. Natural's out of resources. Main base non-existent. This center base is all he has. So we dive in once again, getting another 2 carriers. At this point, it may just be worth just not making carriers. We just make Void Rays instead. May be worth it. So do you see ForJumy trying to gain ground here on the right hand side, but it's just so difficult to do so. Disruptor gets tweaked off. Just having. The armies, they are backing up each other, and again, we spoke about how this may be a bit of a longer one, but even then, even like with that into consideration, it's a long one, Pac. It's a long one. Let's go. Gibbs. Blitz coming once again. Good. Link Stalker's gonna be able to dive on top of some of those brutes. I'm still a little bit shocked that we have not made a Tempest. I'll be honest, if we had invested into some Tempest earlier on, like, we would have been looking so much better here. The role of the Tempest is to actually punish some of these siege units like the Brood Lord. And yes, Tempest, they are vulnerable to being dove upon by a massive amount of corruptors, but I mean, you can say the same here for some of these other, or for the carriers and for the mothership. As the Broodlords, they get a volley off. A couple volleys here and there. Copter sharking around, looking for another yoink. But is that all that Nikich has here? Looking at the units tab, no Hydras, no Lurkers remaining here. It's just Broodlord, Corruptor, Spellcasters, and an Ultra. ForJumy also hasn't been making any probes. I just realized. The work count's still looking quite low here for both players. There we go. Tempests are on the way. Let's go. Finally, we're making some Tempests. We have Tectonic Destabilizers being resourced as well. That is going to help against the Spores, as it does do increased damage to structures. As Yoinks are coming in, we managed to get another couple of carriers. Again, these are just some really nice trades here out of Nikich. Run by is going to get shut down. And we can see Nikich, he's just making more lanes. It looks like he wants to try to mass it and get ready for a counterattack. Looks like as ForJumy is gaining ground, Storm's being thrown down, zoning away those queens. You have a nice powerbomb here on the Void Ray. And again, it doesn't even matter. As we do see reinforcements arriving, more Corruptors as well. Can we go for the dive? Can we commit? Again, we got the Archon, we got some ice Pokemon as well. Some ice units as well. Ice blue, jeez, my brain is falling apart. And here we go, we take down all the units in the sky. At the same time, a big counterattack here on the ground, and there's just nothing left here for Nikich. He's being pulled apart. ForJumy getting behind the army. The Hive is going to be falling. Big storm here, forcing the recall, and that is a kill on the Hive. Ay, ay, ay. What's my brain thinking of? I think my brain was thinking of... Yeah, I've been watching some Pokemon recently. That's just where my brain was at. I don't know why. Shout out to Pokemon 2000 though. That was what was on my brain. Let's go. Big link round right here towards the left. Is going to take down the base. I mean, things are getting quite scrappy here just because ForJumy, he's down to what? 38 workers. We have 21 probes by Nikich. Barely any economies. 5 more workers go down. Every worker counts here in this situation, by the way. Like, these thing run-bys, they're being pretty impactful. Oh, DCs are coming in. The Dark Templar. You take down the Lunker Den. Let's go. What time is it? It's 4:30 a.m. in the morning. It's 4:30, papi. Ay, ay, ay. Let's go. But again, it's been Nikich basically just holding on to this position the entire time. I mean, the Link Rumbites have been nice. He's trying to sneak out a ninja base. Tempest, they have arrived. Let's go. Speaking of, though, do we have any support? Oh, Tempest goes down. We're down to 1. Down to 1 Tempest. I see live VIPs are... No. The rock is crumbling, papi. Ah. It's crumbling. Take down some of those changelings. Mothership rejoining with the army. ForJumy, he's making probes. He's saturating his bases. Ling run by on the way towards the left-hand side. headed for those fringe bases. That base looking quite low, actually. While we dive on those corruptors. He's getting in. I mean, the Zealot Warpin is helping, but yeah, we break through the defensive line. Probes are going down. Tempest going to be falling as well. Oh god, Tempest going to be falling as well here as the base falls. Oh, DT going ham. And we're down to one base, and the Celtic come in for the kill. Will we snipe the base? We will. And every hatchery has gone down. There's 0 bases remaining here for Nikich. He does have enough to rebuild that he needs to. He's going to be revealed. There we go. Hatchery is being rebuilt. Duh. Again, the game has been, I mean, Nikich, he's been doing so well for himself with his Viper control, but I believe we're out of Vipers. We're out of Vipers at this point. Nikich, he's down to a handful of Corruptors, a handful of Brood Lords. ForJumy has been able to pull him apart. And catching out some of these Brood Lords, sorry, some of these Overlords. And going for the slow zone. Let's pick them up. It's going to retreat from here. At the same time, Lings, they do deny the northern base. There we go. Gas guys is going down. We could go for an elimination. Actually, I was going to say we could, but we have plenty of spores available as well. Killing all the buildings is going to be difficult for ForJumy, but he's just containing Nikich here to a single base. One base, papi. Ay, ay, ay. I think my mind's being cleaned up. Gas guys just are going down. Here come the Corruptors trying to catch out some of these Void Rays. Do you have the Prismatic alignment? Void Rays are being recalled here to the mothership. And they're going for the Broods. And the Broodlords, they've been doing well for themselves here. The slow zone has been thrown down. I mean, these Spore Crawlers are putting in a lot of work. Spores are putting in a lot of work here as Nikich, he does take another base. Units have 4 Corruptors. Meanwhile, ForJumy, he's got plenty of mining going on here. Plenty of saturation. Loading on in. Take some more of these spores. Queens, they barely do maintain themselves. As Nikich, she's down to 11 drones. Ay, ay, ay. Again, he wasn't looking too bad here against ForJumy at all. I would even say, you know what? I would even go as far as to say that Nikich, he had better army control than ForJumy. Like, he was able to pick off so many carriers over the course of this game. 24 carriers! That's crazy! That's insane how many carriers went down. The problem here was the economy. It was the fact that Nikich, he just wasn't able to hold on to his bases, wasn't able to get up to past 70 workers, could barely sustain his losses, and yeah, we saw that in the end ForJumy, he won the battle of attrition. Just non-stop expanding here, even taking these southern bases. Making sure that he can maintain himself. And things are looking dire here for Nikich. Just because he's stuck on this one base and he can't leave. If he leaves, the base is going to fall. Speaking of ForJumy, he does get eyes on it. He wants it. go. He goes to the link. He dives on the army. The boys are being pulled. The final stand here of Nikich. He knows how close he was, how well he was performing earlier. But alas, it slipped through his fingers. Doesn't have enough. He's down to, what, 1 Corruptor, 2 more Broodlords, down to 1 Broodlord. GG gets called, and ForJumy takes a 2-0 lead in this qualifying match. GG. Oh, there was a moment in that game where my brain was turning off. Not gonna lie, that was happening. That was happening. I was hoping to try to you know, get up from my chair and like squat and like get the blood flowing, but I wasn't quite able to. Regardless, GG, well played. ForJumy does take a 2-0 lead. Was able to take down Nikich in the end. It was a very chaotic game state though, and again, Nikich was doing very well for himself. He was trading well. He was killing and sniping so many stray carriers wherever he could. But his economy was suffering, and he was suffering as a result. Could not sustain himself. GG, well played. 2-0 lead here for our Protoss player. Unamas, 1 more is all he needs to qualify for the main event. For the European regionals here of EPT Spring. We'll see if he can bounce back. The pressure is on. The pressure is on Nikich. Meanwhile, do we have any other matches that have been wrapped up? I believe we should have wrapped up all of our upper bracket matches. Yes, all the upper bracket matches have concluded. They have wrapped up. We have Shadown over Papi, we have Euthermal, we have Yakov, Akedon, Rudzin, Battle B, I almost said Baby Marine, Battle B, Goblin, and DNS. And all the lower qualifying matches are underway. All getting underway here. And it looks like our players are asking for a small break. I do not blame them. After that series, I do not blame them for asking for a moment here. As that was a long one. That was over half an hour of just non-stop activity, aggression between our players. They do need a moment. When it comes to some of the other active series, Spats versus Baby Marine, Mixu versus Strange, Milky Cow versus Night Phoenix, Joker versus Hate Me. A lot of really good matches. A lot of really good series. I mentioned before, this is most likely going to be our final series of the broadcast. I mean, it's hard to say that. I would love to keep on going, but I also want to be able to be in tip-top shape for the Americas qualifier, just because we have some Ducklings there. We have some Ducklings in the Americas qualifier. I want to be ready for that. And it would be nice if I could rest my voice at least a little bit. At least a little bit. Catching up with the chat. IRL been so busy still. Had a weekend to go this weekend, for example. Hope you guys are well and that you feel better soon. Oh, thank you, Slobo. Thank you. Do appreciate it. Do appreciate it. Thank you, Papi. I've been getting better. I've been getting better. I feel like I've been getting better for the past week, but I'm just not better yet. Like I'm on the cusp. I'm on the horizon. We're almost there. We're almost there. But thank you. Do appreciate it. Live VIP is a rock. Oh, I'm falling apart a little bit is what I will say. Just a little bit. We'll splash some water on our face soon. Be good. I'm just waiting for the players to post their lobby, and then I'm going to quickly get some water. Oh, hello, Astra. Hello, Kid and Astra in the chat. Quack, quack. Bienvenidos. Welcome. Even grinded. The chemical compounds remain the same. You're Rocky. Oh. I'm Sylvester Stallone. Let's go. Where's my Adrian? As the lobby has been made, game number 3 is soon to be upon us here. And game 3 is going to be on Alcyone. Okay, now that we have the lobby, one moment here, I'm going to quickly splash some water on my face. Un momento. Oh, we're back. We are back. And a big shout out to the real Duke SC. Oh my god, for resubscribing or subscribing for the first time with Twitch Prime. Gracias, papi, gracias. Hold on. Less than 3. Thank you so much. Hope you've been enjoying the content. Hope you've been enjoying the broadcast. If you may be tuning in for the first time, we are typically live here on a daily basis, multiple times a day with plenty of StarCrafts. I do cast full time, but recently I've been a little bit unwell. A little bit under the weather, so we have been a little bit lax for casting. We've been missing out on like ESL Americas and like some Star Wars broadcasts here and there, so I do apologize for that. We have been missing some broadcasts recently, but we're getting better. We'll be back on track soon, I'm sure. As we're diving into our qualifying match, potentially the final game of the series. I hope not. I hope we can go the distance. We shall see, though. We shall see. Us spawning in this right-hand corner of Alkione, we have our German Protoss player. The blue Protoss representing Freiburg Esports, leading the series 2-0. It is ForJumy. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Zerg player from Lena, Belarus, representing Platinum Heroes. It is Nikich. He has to fight back here and now to try to force the ace match to make a series out of this. Again, he wasn't looking too bad at all in that last game, but it did slip through his fingers. He did end up staying on a lower drone count, did eventually get overwhelmed. And as we're settling into this series, as we're settling into game number 3, a big shout out to Maestro Slowbro in the chat for subscribing for 8 months. Thank you so much. Gracias, papi, gracias. Been such a good supporter as of late. Thank you. We do appreciate all the support that we get in the chat from our lovely viewers. Thank you so much. Again, it's because of you guys that we're able to host the events that we do host and cast as often as we do. Thank you, papi. Thank you. We do our best. We do our part. And it's a pretty busy month. I mean, we have EPT, we have WTL, we have Stars War 11. There's a lot of StarCraft going on. It's quite intense, and we're doing our best to cover as much of it as we can. We are doing our best. As we're settling into our builds of choices here, Hatch Gas Pool out of Nikich, meanwhile ForJumy going for a Gate Expand into the Cybercore. Also, I'm totally not drinking coffee right now. Getting some sips in of Dare iced coffee. Gibbs, happy Gibbs. Being fueled by the iced coffee. We're awake. We can keep going. What time is it? It's 5 a.m. It's 5 a.m. Let's go all night long. SNL, they're definitely going to be getting across the map. We do see Nikich going to be investing into a couple of extra lings for the time being. It looks like it's just to deal with these reps, just to keep up, just to minimize his losses. And ForJumy does not commit to these shades. We'll be pulling back. Behind this, it is going to be a Stargate opener out of ForJumy, working towards Oracles. Important that we pointed that out just because ForJumy has been a little bit spicy today. We did see a double Robo opener earlier into double Disruptor drop play. That was happening. Yeah. So for now, it looks like a standard build from ForJumy, which makes sense on Alkione. Again, this map is known for its longer late game. Very large map, a lot of base to be taken. And a lot of macro play on this map as a result as well, as we do shut down one of those adepts. You get one, the other does shade back home. Our Lings are being quite active, making sure that there is no expansion. ForJumy does throw down a Robo and a Twilight Council behind this before the expansion. Okay, very tech-heavy style here from ForJumy. What is our plan? What are we going for? With these gateways on the way, it feels like a 2-base all-in. 4 gates for now, but we should be throwing down a 5th, a 6th, a 7th, maybe even an 8th gateway here as well. Show us charge, show us immortal production. Meanwhile, we do have a fast Roach Warren here out of Nikich. I mean, I say a fast Roach Warren. That was a, what, 4-minute 40 Roach Warren timing. That was a much more standard Roach Warren timing here, and see how what we can get into. Lings, they get in. No shot. Lings, they do flood into the main base. We got a free scout here of everything in the main, the gateways, the tech, the Twilight Council, the Robo, and the Templar Archives as well. Big scout from Nikich. And we'll see if ForJumy can be stopped as he's pushing. Now, behind this is not an all-in. We are expanding. I spoke about how I was expecting a bigger gateway explosion. It's only 4. Only 4 gateways. We're not getting into 6 or 8 or even 12. It's not happening. So we're just going for a tech-heavy style. And ForJumy is moving out with a very interesting variation of an Archon drop. Because of the Templar Archives, we gain access to High Templar, to Archons. And this is just to harass. This is just to keep tabs here on Nikich and to keep him honest. Speaking of, we dive on those queens. And it looks like we do get one. One queen goes down. We don't quite get the other, as Nikich does hold. Get ForJumy just backing up. Setting up here on 3 bases. Jumping towards the 4th. And you can see here so far ForJumy being quite a nuisance, even supply blocking Nikich. Ooh, quite a supply block, forcing out 6 overlords. Oh. Quite a big reaction there out of Nikich. You know, behind this, we're getting into our 3-base saturation, charge, +1, immortal production well underway. This will be for Archons and maybe even Storm on the horizon as well. ForJumy just settling in quite nicely here into his 3 bases. And getting into our 4th shouldn't be too much of an issue either. Speaking of, Nikich is finishing up his own 4th base. And we're also taking up into Hydras. It's going to be a Hydra Den here out of Nikich. Roach Hydra, potentially Roach Hydra Lurker as a good target fire. We do get the Prism. Just does go down. Does force a recall. Thankfully, at least the Archons did make it out. That was still a brutal loss there for ForJumy. Meanwhile, with the Hydra Den, we spoke about the potential to tech into Lurkers, and there it is. The Lurker Den is on the way. Hive is on the way as well, so Hydra Lurker Viper is what Nikich is working towards. That is going to be 7 drone kills. I believe the Oracle does fall. That was a pretty good amount of damage dealt here by by ForJumy. Checking his vision. He also saw the Hydra Den. He saw the lair being researched, being built. Sorry, did I say lair? I meant to say hive. So the hive being built from the lair. So a very nice scout there from Jumy. He knows that his opponent, there's kind of a window of opportunity here available for Jumy. But 6 lurkers are on the way. They are lair tech lurkers, but the hive upgrades are now starting up. And with the arrival of these lurkers, any kind of ground-based push is going to have a hard time killing Nikich. He's going to have a hard time. Rotating around, pushing on towards the creep, on towards the gold. And the lunkers are revealed. We do have Storm on the way, that will help. Will help as we are forced to turn back around. All these roaches causing a big reaction here out of ForJumy. We do manage to get one of those Archons. Do manage to get one of those Archons. Lurkers are settling in. Splash's going to be going off. And ForJumy, he's going to be stuck on the other side here. No Skytoss yet. Typically, a higher lurker count would force a reaction, would force a transition to Skytoss. Before we can talk about that, though, we do manage to get a Prism across the map. Yeah, Zealots into the main base. Queen is exposed. The main base as well. Not too much to defend. Lings are trickling in. Lurkers are still in position. But the lurkers are exposed. We're going for them. We're diving on the lurkers. Pushing up this ramp. It's going to be difficult, but again, there is no support for them. Lurkers are going down. Yeah, we force them back. Bow's going to be connecting. Big storms here on the lurkers. Do manage to get away. Meanwhile, on the main base, they get 9 drone kills, 10 workers even. As we get on top of the goal base, and we should be able to focus it down. Prism gets away, goal base goes down, Nikich dropped down to 4 bases, even base count here with ForJumy. An even base count, always a favorable thing for the Protoss. Is going to be favorable here. As ForJumy is going to be rotating around. Does rotate around, does force a cancel on the 5th. Roach run by does get across the map. Takes down a cannon. Does force the overcharge a little bit prematurely as well. You can see ForJumy doesn't want to turn around. There it is. Skytoss on the way. We have +1 air attack, Mothership, 2 more Stargates as well. It's going to take a little bit to get into that carrier production, but it is on the horizon here for ForJumy. He needs more time though. Does need more time. Flangel's going off. We do catch some of these Archons. Big connections. Show us the storms. God, as there are so many lurkers here. They do protect each other. Oh, as they do pick up another one of those immortals. The Prism desperately trying to buy time. Desperately just trying to buy time here for ForJumy. As you can see, we have those 3 carriers now on the horizon. We have the Bale on the way as well. It's going to be for Colossus. And Nikich is doubling down on Mass Lurker. Oh, there's a bug in the chat. Ah, haven't seen a bot in the chat in quite some time. And as we do have Nikich Trying to be active here, moving out. Does get eyes on the fresh base, or on the would-be 5th. ForJumy's in position. And I don't, with this kind of army, I don't know if Nikich can really push in. He's gonna try. He's gonna try big storm on the Hydras. The slow zone as well. Oh my god, the slow zone storm combination, and Nikich's army melts. Got 50 more Hydras on the way. Where is the Spire, by the way? I don't see it. No Spire, no Corruptors. We saw on Oceanborn that Nikich did very well for himself, trading and controlling his Corruptor Viper army. But he doesn't have one. Not this time. Not yet. He doesn't have it yet. We end up yoinking that mothership. Minus 300, minus 300. Second yoink is forced. Yeah, at the same time the Prism gets in, and once again we're going for the Hive. The Hive is going to be going down. Even getting on top of these Hydras. Good trade. A very, very efficient trade here from Jumy, getting drone kills, getting a base, getting tech as well. At the same time, we're going for a big lurker counterattack. Yeah, probes the force off the mineral line. Zealots wreaking havoc in the main, but Zealots, or lurkers, likewise wreaking havoc here at the third base. This is an expensive run by the way. None of this shoots up. Does shoot up. Good yoinks here coming out. On some of those disruptors. Some of those. Just some of the army. At the same time, ForJumy, it's going to be his turn to go for a split push. Does have Regal available. Hasn't spent it yet. The base is going to be going down. There's just nothing here in position to protect it. Have a couple of Hydras threatening a dive, but by the time we do the base, it has gone down. With that, I believe still no Spire, right? Yeah, still no Spire, despite seeing the Sky Toss. Or the attempted Sky Toss. More carriers have arrived. 8 carriers in total. They're just trying to push in. Lurker run by coming in once again, cleaning up those pylons. As we do see Nikich trying to force his way up the ramp, but pushing into Purification Novus, pushing into Storm is just not going to happen. Instead, we're trying to rely heavily here on these yoinks, on these abductions. Managed to get one of those carriers. Feedback's 1 second too late. Hive is being rebuilt. As a reminder, Hive was sniped earlier. Is being rebuilt. We throw down the slow zone, even throwing down the cloak as well. Didn't do too much here. You can see the ground army plummeting for ForJumy. Just trying to break through. Too many lurkers. Too much in position here. As the Vipers, they have just topped up their energy, going straight for the dive here on the army. Goes for a yoink. Gets one, gets two. Only gets one of those carriers in the end. The other will barely escape. Oh my god, and these Telerumbis are brutal. We already killed the Hive in the main, and now we're going for the Hive at the natural base. Hives, they keep on going down one after the other. Big pick off here by Jumy. Getting another base. Yeah, just so many bases falling in the matter of seconds. In the center gold base, the natural. And we still have more carriers on the way. Who needs the Tempest? Who needs them? Not us. Copium. We are going to be able to chase them back. Likewise, we do see Nikich just licking his wounds, trying to rebuild, trying to remax. Working on getting his lair and his hive back up and running. That's also why he can't get a spire right now. We don't have a lair. We don't even have a spawning pool. Oh, ay. A lot of rebuilding to do for Nikich. Yoinks coming in. We get one, we get two. Two disruptors. As there we go, the lair is being rebuilt. So this time it's going to be here towards the south. And once the lair is done, then we can start investing into something like Aspire and Corruptors. Until then, we're stuck with what we have. Stuck here with Hydra Lurker Viper. And we have been able to hold on and survive. We do see a Zealoromite threatening a dive. So yeah, we're just going to be staring each other down. ForJumy taking another base. Nikich doing the same. Both players expanding on the right hand side. Zealoromite catching some lurkers. Oh, we got one! A bit of miscontrol here as lurkers, they're going down almost for free here. We got two, we're getting a third. Barely don't. Barely do not. Again, especially in this game state, I'm not fond of just massing carrier. Like, Tempest they can trade so efficiently being more of a siege unit. Taking advantage of the fact that there are no corruptors. Let's go for a big cleanup here towards the left. Some of those bronze. So yeah, the armies are going to be backing off. Lair is done. Hive is now on the way. For the third time this game. Let's go. The Hive, it's coming. Now what's scary is that we have to make sure the ForJumy doesn't find this Hive. Otherwise, he's going to kill it again. He's going to snipe it for a third time. If he finds out. We must preserve the Hive. It just wants to live, Poppy. Let it live. Not like this. Still in its pride. Feels Hive, man. As Nikich has been quite adventurous with his Hydras. Did move out of position. They do get two lurkers who go down. As looking at our units tab here, we have 12 carriers, soon to be 11. Oh, never mind, as we are unable to punish the carrier does get away. Getting the rest here. That's going up. Connections here in that shroud. Once again, Nikich still committed to Mass Hydra. I mean, I've got to commit Nikich at this point. Refuses to back down. I will not make a Corruptor. I will make nothing but Hydras. Storms are being turned down. Yeah, big storms on the army. Big Zellarambe here on the right hand side. Another base going to be going down. At least this time it's not the Hive, but we crippled the economy. Nikich down to 32 workers. And with his economy being crippled, he can barely sustain himself. The gold bases go down as well. God, and the Zellarambe, they just do not stop. And honestly, in this game, the MVPs have been the Zealots, right? Like, the main armies, sure, they've been clashing every now and then, but who was it that took down the Hive the first time? It was the Zealots. The second time, also the Zealots as well. These Hello Warpers, they have been brutal. They just keep coming in time and time again. From here, Nikich just trying to survive, trying to hold on. Just trying to hold on. Nikich trying to push on multiple fronts, but alas, ForJumy does have an army to defend. So how many carries are we on? We're on 11. Okay, not bad. Okay, half the one so far. And there we go. We do see ForJumy slowly encroaching on the base. It's going to be a kill here on the base. It's going to be right down. And yeah, once again, with all these disruptors, with all these storms, we just zone away the army. Nikich just can't engage. Like, what can we do? No Vipers, one Infestor, without abductions, without blinding clouds, without any of our spells. How do we engage? We do see Nikich just rotating around, trying to keep his base. Once again, the hatchery goes down. Oh my god. No shot. Can we go for the Hive? Can we get it again? Someone needs to let ForJumy know where the Hive is. He doesn't know. He hasn't seen. Microbial Shroud has been thrown down. The army forcing back all these carriers. As it's being forced back, Zellarambe comes in. Does ready to push in. Meanwhile, every single Hydra did turn back around. 7 drones fell. But I mean, hey, the Hive is still alive. Still up. We're getting there. As it looks like we finally do get eyes on these ETs. Finally, we were able to shut them down. But this entire time, for the past couple of minutes, it's been Nikich on, or just barely holding on by a thread. Has been barely holding on. More bases going down. ForJumy, he is maxed out. Again, he's got plenty to work with, whether it's in the air or whether on the ground. And there we go. We're just going to be bleeding out units here. ForJumy taking another forward base here in the face of his opponent, of Nikich. It's a good amount of these, a good amount of ultras. Nerva's got big connections here on the Hydras. And yeah, there's just nothing left. The Sky Toss, it's getting out of hand. It's getting out of control. GG gets called. Congratulations. As ForJumy, he has done it. He will be qualifying for EPT Spring, the ESL Masters Europe region. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here on the 3-0. But even though it was a 3-0, Nikich, he had his moments, he had his opportunities, especially in game number 2. I do think that things were very back and forth, and you know, if we had just adjusted a couple things here and there, then potentially would have had a series, would have had a more dynamic scoreline and just a longer series in general. But in the end, Nikich does tap out, and ForJumy qualifies. GG, well played. And again, my condolences to Nikich. He's a great player, making it this far into a qualifying match, but unfortunately his run ends here. His run does conclude, and congratulations to ForJumy. Meanwhile, oh my god, every other series is wrapping up. I didn't even notice, but we have so many more qualified players. Okay, from the bottom. We have the lower bracket wrapping up. Spats takes down Baby Marine 3-2. My condolences to Baby Marine. He's going to be another player that is not a part of the main event. He has been a young up-and-comer for a while, and Baby Marine, he's a great player, but unfortunately he meets his end at the hand of Spats. Spats will advance on instead. Scrolling down there. Aristry takes down Bonan 3-1. Aristry also going to be part of the main event. A very big win. I know that Aristry has been practicing quite a lot as of late. Has been putting in the hours, and it's great to see that come to fruition here and flourish. And yeah, we get to see Aristry as a part of the main event. Wish him the best of luck. Meanwhile, Strange takes down Mixu 3-0. I do rate Strange quite highly, so not the biggest of upsets there. Big shout to Strange as he will advance on. Meanwhile, we have Milky Cow versus Night Phoenix. That series is currently ongoing. Currently an ongoing series here is Night Phoenix versus Milky Cow. So I wish them the best of luck in that PvT. Scrolling down, we do have Drogo versus Hamey. Drogo advances on 3-0 over Hamey. Very well done. Again, Drogo, he is a veteran in the scene, and it would be weird to see an event like EPT without Drogo there. So, you know, Drogo is able to be a part of that once again. Oh my god, a very close series here. Nikich and Papi. They went all the way to the ace match. Oh my god, it would have been... personally, it would have been a lot of fun to have seen Papi in the main event. It would have been beautiful. Unfortunately, it was a 3-2 scoreline, and Nikich eliminates Papi from the tournament. He qualifies instead. I do think that Nikich deserves to be a part of the main event. He's been improving so much. I just stand by saying that I wish both of them made it through. Both Nikich and Papi. A shame it could only be one. Scrolling down towards the bottom, we have our series, of course, ForJumy to take down Nikich 3-0. We also have Geralt taking down R 3-1 as well. It is a bit of a shame, but again, Geralt, there was an upset where he got knocked down early on. So Geralt, he has to fight back and eventually qualify. He got there in the end. It was close to being another PvP. But yeah, just really surprising to see that Geralt did have to go through the main qualifier instead of the lower bracket one. Again, it is interesting, but was able to make it through. And with that, that wraps us up here for the European qualifiers. I mentioned there's only one series left. There's only Milky Cow versus Night Phoenix, and they are mid-series. They're currently in-game. And where exactly are they in that series? They're in the ace match. Okay. They're tied up 2-2. They're tied up 2-2, and they're in the ace match. They are about to wrap up. And yeah, with that, that does mean that we are going to be done for now. When is the next broadcast? When is the Americas Regionals or the Americas Qualifier? It is going to be in an hour and 37 minutes. Thank God. Oh, almost 2 hours. Almost 2 hours. Which means we're going to be bringing the stream down. And we're going to be going on a 2-hour break. I'm going to take them to shower. I'm going to shower with the help of the water. Hopefully we wake up. We're able to wake up in time for that. Technically, I could try to nap. I could try to nap for like 20 minutes. tempting. I'm worried. I'm worried if I try to nap here for the Americas qualifier, I'm worried that I won't wake up. I'm worried that I'm just going to be knocked out. So I think we're going to try and pull the all-nighter. And the Americas qualifier, I'll be honest, I haven't even looked at the bracket. Let's have a look. Let us have a look here at the Americas qualifier bracket, because we have some Ducklings. We have some Ducklings that are going to be a part of it. Let's quickly check here. We have 3 Ducklings. We have Ryu, we have Eric, and we have Dolan. 2 Zerg players and 1 Terran. The Ducklings will be a part of this. And what are the matchups? Okay, we have Future versus Apple Juice. Future's going to be the clear favorite there. We have Riser versus Maples in a PvP. Scrolling down. No! Oh my... For none of the admins? What the hell? Actually, what the hell? Oh my god. I wish you could see what I'm seeing right now. The Americas qualifier. The team kill is real. We have Dolan versus Rob. Dolan is one of our own, one of the CranKy Ducklings. Just under them, Ryu versus Eric in a ZVZ. Duckling versus Duckling into another Duckling, most likely. Like, that's gonna be Ryu versus Eric into Dolan in a qualifying match. On the one hand, it does confirm that a CranKy Duckling is gonna qualify. I feel like it does confirm that we will have a qualified player, which is really cool. But the downside is that we have to kill each other. If we were spread out, then I'll be honest, like, looking at the other talent lineup here, I feel like there's a good chance for all 3 of them to have made it through, but they have to knock each other out instead. Feels bad, man. Feels so bad. Ay, ay, ay. So it is such a shame that Dolan, Ryu, and Eric, they have to face off against each other. Funada the admins. Funada the admins. Funada the seeding. Shaking my head. Shaking my head. So we know we're going to be casting in the Americas qualifier. We're going to be casting most likely Ryu versus Eric. Ryu versus Eric into Dolan. That is going to be what we're covering. Scrolling down, there's going to be Nina versus Pili Pili, Chaos Fate versus Foxer, M Canning versus Epic, and Volt versus Masa. So yeah, we know what we're casting. Yeah, it's going to be Ryu and Eric. Is going to be what we are casting in just under 2 hours, in like an hour and a half. Is going to be what we're covering. And yeah, it's such a shame that that we have team kills like this. It would have been amazing if they were all fanned out. If they were all spread out, we would have. I'm confident that all 3 of them would have made it through. But that is going to complicate things. Smurge, man, smurge. With that, thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in. Again, we're going to be back in an hour and a half. Meanwhile, stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. We will find someone to give our love to. So give them a chance. Give them some support. As who is streaming right now? Who is streaming? We have Dave Tessa streaming. We have Triggers playing Osu. Este Trigger. Smile is laddering. Let's go. Tempted to raid Smile. But Dave dropped by earlier, so we might want to... I'm going to send the people over to old mate Dave. SC2 full. Let's go. Yeah, just looking at who's online here. You know what? We'll send some love to Dave Testa. I think he's also going to be casting the Americas qualifier. I think he's also going to be a part of that. So give him some love, give him some support. He's a fellow community caster, like ourselves, like Rotterdam, like Wardy. Dave is also a very active caster from the Americas region. So give him some love. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support. We'll see you guys soon for some more StarCraft action in 2 hours' time. For the team kills, Bobby. For the team kills. Smurge. We'll see you then. Take care. Enjoy yourselves. Ciao, Bobby. Ciao. Take care.